Good afternoon or evening, and welcome to the first ever podcast for the Little Theatre of Winston-Salem. I am your host, Jessica Perry, and we are here to talk about the 90th season that we are heading into, and I am with the entire staff of the Little Theatre, minus one, who will be here any minute now. Wanted to go ahead and talk about why we decided to do this podcast. We thought it would be a wonderful opportunity to let our hundreds of volunteers and thousands of patrons each year get to know us a little bit more in a more intimate setting and get a behind-the-scenes look at what we do and how we make the magic on stage. I'm going to turn it over to our executive director and let her introduce herself, Joelle Irons.
I'm Joelle Irons. I'm sure you've heard me yell and talk to you quite loudly from the stage as I do my curtain speech. I'm so excited that all of the staff is here, or almost all the staff is here, because we have the best staff that you could ask for. We are fun, we are collaborative, and I can't wait to tell you why Jessica and I chose this name for this podcast.
All right, next to Joelle, sitting next to her is Abby. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Abby Hefner. I'm the Patron Services Manager with Little Theatre. I've been with the company for about 4 months now, and I love it here. This is a gem in the community, and I'm really excited to start working on this project, especially with Jessica, because we're partners in crime.
We are so happy to have you. If you heard that rustling, that was our technical director, Tab May, entering to join us. We're happy to have you. We're going to turn it over and let Daisy Neske, our costume shop manager, introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Daisy Neske, and I am the new costume shop manager. I have been working with the theaters almost a year now, and I am very excited to start the new 90th season, and I just can't wait to get started.
Yes, sorry, I was taking a swallow. Hi, I'm Tab May, a.k.a. This Robot Dreams. I've been the technical director for Little Theatre since August of 22, so 2 years now.
Woohoo!
Prior to that, I was a freelance designer in the Triad, mostly scenery, sometimes lighting, and I still get to do a lot of scenery as technical director, so that's fun. And I don't know what to follow that with, so I'm going to stop talking now.
We'll turn it over to Christina.
I'm Christina Ebbing. I'm the volunteer coordinator for the Little Theatre. I help get the volunteers for productions and welcome them when they sign up. I've been involved with the theater on and off for almost 30 years now, since 95.
Ooh, she started when she was 2.
It's pretty, I was very young. But I'm excited to be here still for our 90th season. That's amazing.
And another 30 more, and another 30, and another 30.
Well, we'll see.
So the name of our podcast, Little Theatre Winston-Salem's Backstage Chronicles, is pretty self-explanatory, but why only murders in this season? I know the answer.
I know the answer.
Does anybody else know the answer? Anybody have an idea?
I do not.
If you look at our season, they all almost all have murders in them.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I didn't know if there was a reason behind making those
Murders
choices.
or attempted murder.
Yes.
We've even decided that Christmas Carol, which doesn't directly have a murder, probably Scrooge murdered Marley. We just are saying that to get it to go with the theme.
That's our conspiracy theory.
Right.
Did it for the money.
He did it for the business. Yeah.
But was that a theme you chose ahead of time, or did you just choose these plays and notice that they all had murders in them after the fact?
So Little Theatre staff doesn't get to choose our plays. The board chooses our plays. And so we kind of are thrown these pile of shows, and then we get to say, well, this is fun. How are we going to tell people how awesome they are? And as I went through and I read the stories, they all had murders. And I thought that was very dark and kind of fun. So, it kind of just happened.
It was just a fun play on words, too, because of the popular Only Murders in the Building, and they started a podcast, so it's a little irony for you.
Right. And there's so much positive despite the murders.
Oh,
There's
yes.
so much fun in the season and a lot of comedy and stuff.
A lot of comedy. Funny murders.
Funny. Yeah, there's some funny.
A
No.
lot of funny murders, yeah.
We don't have as many funny murders for us this season. I don't think there are any funny murders. Are there any funny murders?
This season, funny?
Yeah, our murders.
Little Shop? How funny will the
That's-
murders be? I don't know.
It's very tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, that's probably about as funny as our murders get this season.
Well, there's unnecessary farce.
Oh, that's
which,
what I
being
was-
a farce, I would assume the murder in that is comedic. I've only read the first half of the script, so
That's the attempted
That's
murder.
the attempted one because it's a farce. So
Yeah, nobody really
Can't
gets
get
hurt
too
in
dark in a
farces.
farce.
yeah, it's usually bumbling. So yeah, that's the funny murders.
So, like, what shows, is there any shows in particular that we're most excited about or you're most excited about in particular? Either to costume or to design for or just to watch or for the story itself?
I mean, I've been really excited about Little Shop for a lot of reasons. One, I just love that show. It's always fun. I've worked on it. I've designed the set for that before. I've worked on other productions, but this is the first time that I've been able to design and build the plant puppets. So that's like the big fun job for me this season is building the Audrey 2 puppets.
Yes, and shameless plug, we are receiving donations to help build Audrey 2. We are building 4 Audrey 2s in various sizes, from small to gigantic, and we could definitely use your help. If you go to our website, which is www.ltofws.org, you can help donate to the building of Audrey 2. And if you donate at least $25 or more, you'll get a fun I Fed the Plant bumper magnet to showcase your support and your love of Little Shop. Anybody else? Anybody have a favorite? Just had to throw a commercial in there. Break for a minute.
I mean, it's your job, so it's good that you did that.
I think the two that I'm most excited about, Little Shop notwithstanding, because I'm dying to see that, but I really like Agatha Christie, so I'm looking forward to And Then There Were None. Also because my friend Elizabeth is directing for the first time for us, and I know she's going to do an amazing job, Elizabeth Reef. And I'm also excited about Unnecessary Farce because I am a farce kind of girl. So I'm all about people staking identities and door slamming and whatever chaos it brings. So I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Have you read the script for that one yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, yeah, you gotta
Never met a farce I didn't like, so I feel like I'm safe.
Well, and
It's an
I'm
American farce, so it's even more goofy, I think.
A little more zany.
Zany's the word, yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, and I'm excited for that one because Philip Powell is directing it, and he's such a good director in general, but also farce in particular he excels at, and just to know that we're getting another Philip Powell directed farce in this season has me in a really good mood.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted him to do it, because I know he can make it tight and good, which you know a farce has to be, because it's so... I mean, that farce has 8 doors, which is an excessive number of doors, even for a farce.
That's awesome.
It's all about the timing.
Exactly.
What about you, Abby?
Oh, okay. I'm really excited about Little Shop because puppets, and I love that musical so much. But I'm really excited about Feeding Beatrice. It's such a good script, and it's like I'm just really. My job's amazing because I just get to sit back and watch very, very talented people create very, very beautiful things with very, very beautiful scripts. So, you know, and get people to come to see it. So I'm very excited.
I'm excited about all the shows, and I'm not just trying to cop out on that one, but really there's just something on each production that I'm excited about, whether it's the story or who's directing it, because we have so many wonderful directors this season.
Yeah, I'm so excited about our directors.
Or just like the story itself or the actors or who might possibly come out to audition. That's something that's always really fun. I'm always like wondering like, oh, who might come out for this one? It always gets really exciting when you know that, or you get really excited about, oh, we want a really good cast because, you know, you want to watch these stories. You want to see it told really well, so you get really excited about it.
Exactly. And on that note, last night we have 2 nights of auditions for Little Shop. Last night we had 34 people. And so we're dying to see who else comes out still tonight to audition. So lots of great voices. So
Oh, I bet it's so fun.
it's going to be a phenomenal cast.
I so wish I
no
could be at
matter what.
auditions, but it's better for me not to be there.
I love it. I love seeing who all shows up. And we had people who I have not seen for 12 years coming out and auditioning last night.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Which is great. And it just goes to show that different shows bring out different actors. It brings out different backstage volunteers. So it's really fun. It'll be interesting also to see who comes out when we audition for Oklahoma in the spring. Oklahoma will be on stage in June, because I think we'll also get a lot of people, but I think it'll be a lot of different people who, that would prefer that type of musical to The Little Shop as a musical. So.
Yeah, I've been really surprised at the people who are excited about auditioning for Little Shop. I mean, it's a great show. I love it. It's so much fun. But there were so many people who were just like, yeah, I'm going to audition. Yeah, I'm going to audition. Like, everywhere I went, I knew there were people saying, oh, yeah, I want to audition for Little Shop.
Yep.
No, my son told me about
exciting.
this girl he goes to school with that her dad said that he was going to come audition for it. I'm like, that's interesting. Like, how many degrees of separation?
They're about to get smaller.
It's Winston-Salem. They're very small.
Oh, no, but we have a wonderful community of people. And so I'm just really excited about this season and all the things that we have going on. We have our 90th season Stage Presence Club, which is also new this season. If you wanted to talk a little bit about that, Joelle.
Oh, yeah, that's next. Is that next week?
Oh.
Already?
Wow.
Goodness. Oh, my gosh. So that one, the first one, we're doing the Murder Mystery Game Night, and that's the one I've been the most excited about because I get to run a murder mystery game night. That's just so much fun. And it's cheesy, and it's going to be goofy, and we're going to have a ridiculous amount of fun, and there's going to be drinking, and there's going to be people dressing up, and I'm ridiculously excited about that because it's just, I get to run a murder mystery game night. And then the Little Shop of Horrors, we're going to watch the movie because you can't really actually see Little Shop of Horrors too many times. It's like popcorn. You just can't get enough. So even watching the movie before we see the show is going to just, I think, get us more excited about that. And that's just going to be like seeing a fun movie with your friends is what that's going to be about. I hope we are all quoting it in the most obnoxious ways possible.
So I want to get to know you guys a little bit more. So why don't you tell me a moment, like how you got into a career in theater, what made you want to pursue theater as a career?
I don't think we have time for that.
No?
What I love about all the staff, or almost all of us, have degrees in the performing arts, and think that is really very amazing for any performing arts organization, but especially a community theater, because we're not usually supporting professionals on stage, but we are all professionals. And so we all have these degrees where most people would say, what did you get that for? That's a waste of money. But here we are, actually working it and getting paid to work it, and that's pretty awesome. I know all of us, from what I know, have very convoluted and winding stories to how we got here. So that's just part of the joy of theater. Once you get in, you never leave. They don't let you leave.
There's no escape.
No, especially with the Little Theater.
Yeah, it's true.
It's called being bit by the theater bug. Once you get bit, it's done. That's it. You may take breaks, but the door's always open. You can always come back. It's wonderful. It's my favorite place in the entire world.
I honestly, this is Daisy, by the way. I recently am a transplant from California, and I had no idea when I left. It was during COVID, and theater was completely shut down. And I had no idea I was going to be in theater again. I literally thought, what am I going to do with my life? Where am I going to go? I'm just going to get in my RV and sell my house, and I'm just going to travel. And I made it here to North Carolina, and I'm in theater again, and I feel so blessed and grateful for that because, like I said, I had no idea what I was going to do, and here I am. And it's always in your blood. Like, there's no getting it out. Once you're there and you have that love for it, you can't let it go. It's like a nag. That's how I feel about theater.
That was beautiful.
I didn't actually come from a theater background. My degree's in communications. And when we moved here, I had been in travel, and that was just not working out. It's like I got laid off twice in 1 year because the industry was changing. And so we moved here in 95 and didn't know anybody. And so just my husband had a job, but I had nothing, and I was getting tired of cleaning the apartment and stuff. So I said, we've got to get out and meet people. And so I saw a thing that we could volunteer in the scene shop. And so we came and started building the set for Mr. Roberts, and immediately had this whole theater family of these lovely, fun, caring human beings. And we were completely just sucked in. And I ended up getting a job as the marketing director, and I did that for 5 years. And kind of talking about how it stays in your system, I resigned because we were going to homeschool my daughter. And 13 years later, I just was wanting to edge back in maybe a little bit as volunteer coordinator or something, and I ended up coming back again as the marketing director, and just was happy as a lark to be back involved, because I volunteered in the meantime, but it is that whole thing that when it gets into you, you just need to keep being a part of it on any level.
Right.
And so even though now I'm not, full-time marketing person, it's like I love still being involved, and I love seeing, as Abby was saying, where you see the script and you read that, and it's just a little booklet of words, and how it somehow turns into this amazing production with so many people involved, because there's so many people on stage, but then there's so many more behind the scenes that are just making every little aspect of it work. And it's just brilliance. I just feel like you don't see that in every career, this whole joint effort.
Yes.
Makes theater magic.
It's magic. I was about to say, it's literally, I firmly believe it's the closest thing that we have to magic, that at least we get to share with
Right.
other people.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, I just love the fact that a group of adults come together to play make-believe, and my inner child can't get over it.
It's so good, right? Oh my gosh. You need to play make-believe. Even if you are terrified of being on stage and being seen, every single adult should just put on a costume and pretend to be someone else. You got to do it at least once in your life, because it will lower your blood pressure. It will make you a happier person.
Yeah.
That's why it's called a play.
You play.
We play. No, I love it so much. And, once you get over that initial fear of making a fool of yourself, and that first time you make somebody laugh on purpose, that feeling is addictive. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm a little too addicted to it, and I might make too many jokes at work. So I'm sorry, guys.
I don't think you're alone there.
How
How else did we get to the name of this podcast, or even the concept of this podcast? I think started out as a joke.
It did, and then we realized it was perfect. Oh my goodness. I just love this group of people that's sitting in front of me. I'm amazed that a group of strangers can come together and just click so well on all levels. And I think that says a lot to each and everyone's ability to collaborate and communicate and just be open to learning and growing and not being stuck and set in their ways. And that's what I feel has been really special about our staff, and it's what keeps me here when stresses and strains of the job can get to you. It's the people, it's the community, it's knowing that I'm doing it not just for me but for others. And that's what I really love about theater and the Little Theater in general.
Well, first rule of theater is the show must go on. So I think that is part of what helps people band together. 'Cause you can be from all different walks of life. I see this with the volunteers a lot. Everybody has different opinions, and some people are employed and some people aren't employed, and they're in completely different jobs from each other, and some have kids and some don't. But when you all get together, the show must go on. So it's all about the show. It's not about, we all bring our talents to it for sure, and you need all the different talents, but it's all about the show. And that's why the shows turn out so good.
Yes.
Yeah. And we would be amiss, like you said, not to just lift all our volunteers and our patrons and our supporters just on a huge pedestal, because we don't happen without them. And the fact that we are housed in a community that wants us here and supports us is that doesn't happen everywhere. So I've been in a lot of community theater spaces, and good ones, and seeing a community that loves their theater it's so lovely to see. So
They must love us. We've been here 90 years.
yeah.
Haven't gotten rid of us yet. What's really great is too, like, the actors come together and they are from all these different backgrounds, and then they keep in touch for sometimes years after the show is all over, and they would not have met any other way except that they happened to be in a show together, and that doesn't happen anywhere else. How else does that happen? It's so amazing to see that. And then they come to shows together, or they go to other shows together. They support each other. The actors in this community are the most supportive. There's never that whole, I'm not going to go see that because I didn't get that role. They'll still come and see it, even if they didn't get the role, because they want to see their friend who did get the role. It's just, it's pretty unique and amazing.
What I love about us being around for 90 years is like all the stories and the history, and they just pop up in little ways all the time. For example, today I was talking to someone, helping them reserve their tickets for the season, and they told me a story about how she used to go with her dad to see the shows, and her friend used to go with her mom to see the shows. Both their parents have since passed, and so they decided that they'll go together to see shows. And so they just go now every season to come see shows, and that's
adorable.
I'm not crying.
It's exactly why I do what I do. It's for moments like that.
Yeah, you think about how many friendships have been made. I mean, you talk about the actors. Every time auditions, it's like a reunion out there. They're all, oh, hey, how you doing? When they see each other. But then, the stories, I mean, how many friendships have been made? How many marriages have come out of the theater with people who have met either backstage or on stage, or mixed marriages of backstage and on stage. It's wonderful, and it is generational. It's generations and generations have been coming to Little Theater. So, we have a lot of new people in Winston now, but the people who've been here for, decades, their families are from here, have always just had it as a constant, because we have been consistent all these years, like never stopped performing, even during COVID. Made it work.
And even like more than one show a year. It's never even like we cut back so much that people almost forgot we existed. We've always been here. I talked to a patron once who her Kennedy assassination memory was that she didn't get to go to a show because the show was canceled that night. And that's her, where were you when Kennedy was assassinated? Wow. So it's goes back and back. And that doesn't happen everywhere.
No, that's incredible.
Wow. Okay, we've got so much exciting stuff happening for the 90th season. I have been looking forward to this since before the 89th season ended. I was just like, I'm so excited about this.
I've been talking about how we were coming up on our 90th season since our 87th season. So, and now when I talk about, when this is what we'll do for our 100th season, you guys just simply tell me to be quiet. But that's just how it goes. It just keeps going. I had a board member say, "Oh wait, it just keeps going." I'm like, yes, that's the goal, is that it keeps going. We don't stop. We're the Energizer Bunny of theater.
Yeah. No, it just keeps going and going and going. I don't think our batteries are ever going to run out.
Oh, it feels that way sometimes. I think we've all felt that way a few times.
Well,
but
that's true. But then we recharge them and then use them again for the next show.
That's very eco-conscious of you to use rechargeable batteries like that. That's good.
I'm nothing if not random.
Well, there's always another show, and even though we go through more or less the same types of duties for each show, you have the constant variety of it's a different show. There's a different set of people as far as on stage working. There's a different set of designers or directors. So while it's similar work ongoing, there's always that change that's happening, with sets and costumes and props and and choreography and music and whatever have you. And I think that's what helps keep it new, because there is that variety, and that really helps.
Yeah, is there
Yes.
anything worse than the question of what's your everyday work schedule like? Because I never know how to answer that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the job, is that because every show is different, every story is different, has different requirements. Even though I'm doing the same kind of work, the work itself is different. I'm not just, punching a cookie cutter over and over again and knocking the same thing out over and over again. Each show has its challenges, and sometimes it gets very frustrating, but it keeps my brain active and moving and not getting rusty and still and complacent. And it's it can be draining at times, and yes, we want to stop, but then when you get it right, you have that aha moment, and then people come see it, and you get the feedback, and you get energized from that, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That right there, when they see the show, when it's up, after their reactions, that's all the hard work. It's worth it. Was one of my favorite things to do when I was the front of house manager. Thank you for taking that, Abby.
My pleasure.
It was one of my favorite things to do, was in special moments where I knew that the audience was going to react. I would sneak in to see their reactions, and you get the laughs, and you get the jump scares. It's the moments when you see someone taking
crying.
their finger and wiping off their glasses or their eyes, and I'm just like, that right there, we did it, guys.
Yeah, that is definitely still my favorite. I'll be like, but I want to stay and watch the show because I want to watch the audience.
But sleep.
But sleep. Yeah, there's that.
When I watch the shows, it's a rare time when we have the standing ovation that I'm not crying, because I love that the audience has appreciated the work so much, and I'm so proud of the actors. I'm so proud of the crew and the designers and the directors and stuff that it's overwhelming. It's just every time I'm just happy tears. It's just I just love it.
Show when you're watching so I can watch you cry. That is pretty
Watch me
great.
fumbling for tissues in my purse. Yeah.
Well, and watching people come out of the theater at the very end, right? And just seeing, because everybody went in as strangers, and now they're all coming out, and 9 times out of 10, they're smiling and laughing with each other. Whoever they were sitting next to, they're bonded by this experience, which, again, it happens in other places, but I don't know if you can bond so intensely with a room of strangers like you can after seeing a show together in that way. It's really fun to watch.
It is unique. I read a book about bringing people together and the energy that happens even when you close doors for any event. It creates this bubble of that energy, and theater people know that because we've been doing that for hundreds of thousands of years. You put people in a room, you create it dark, and you give them emotions and energy, and there isn't anything like it anywhere. You get to feed that energy. The actors feed on that energy. I think that's what they live on, especially during Tech Week. It's just there isn't anything like it. That's why they have come out with that glow. It really is a glow, because we got to suck each other's emotional energies and feed off of each other in ways that otherwise sound weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask everybody, if there's one thing you want someone to take away from either this season or the Little Theater, if you can think of anything, what would it be? What's one thing you want someone to know about the Little Theater or our 90s season? I didn't prepare them for this question.
Just one, though, Jessica? Just one? Okay, murders are bad. That's the easy one. That the only way any company, especially a nonprofit, especially an arts nonprofit, can make it for 90 years is with its volunteers, its patrons, its donors, and its volunteers. Because it proves that Winston-Salem knows that we're important, is because we have been around for 90 years.
I think I just want people who maybe are looking at life and maybe going, how am I even thinking about going to see a community theater show? Like how is that even a priority in my life? I guess I want to give permission to like literally everyone. Just, you are allowed to go into this very safe space and be sucked into a different world, a new experience. You are allowed to expose yourself to that, and it will connect you to people, and it will make the world feel better. And we need that. Like, we really need that, even if it is just distraction, or if, you do, end up taking something philosophically away from one of the shows that is super meaningful. It's like we need it. We've always been creatures that need entertainment and theater and community, and we still need it now. So please, 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 please go to a show and support your local theater.
Anybody else?
You're next.
I was going to say, touch on the volunteer situation again, because I really feel like volunteering is really important. It helps the theater, it helps the community. It teaches people that maybe don't know what they're doing or want to get into it, and it teaches them and shows them, how to do it. And I love having new volunteers or old volunteers, any volunteers, to be honest.
And it's a lot easier to get started than you might think.
Exactly. It's very easy, and any skill level, even no skill level, is totally accepted.
We will teach you.
So that's what I would like to see, or invite people more to volunteer, even if it's 1 day, 1 hour. It is really important.
Yeah, I was just going to say I want people to walk away energized in any way, whether they're, excited to get involved with us, Little Theater specifically, or just recognizing or feeling new possibilities for life in general. Just like theater's, there's so many things I love about theater. When I see a good play, like, it wakes me up. It gives me ideas. It makes me remember things I forgot about that I wanted to do, or discover things that I didn't know I wanted to do, or look for new things. And so, that's what I'm always trying to wake up or invoke in our audience members, the reaction that I want. It's just I want people to see something they never thought about before and start thinking in new ways, and just walk away alive.
Inspiring creativity.
Yes.
And new perspectives.
New perspectives, just all of that. But also, if they watch one of our shows and go, "Ooh, I want to be part of that," then yes, come to the scene shop. I'll teach you how to paint wood grain and many other things. Or just try out, audition. Yeah, do everything. Be part of our family, because we have a beautiful family and we have so much fun, and we just want to share that fun. So yes, come have fun with us.
Absolutely. I agree with everybody. I think that be a part of the Little Theater. We've been here for pushing 90 years, and there's a reason for that. And if you don't already know the reason, then come and find out the reason. So you can either be an audience member, you can be a volunteer, and like Daisy and Tab just said, we definitely could use extra help in the costume shop and in the scene shop, and you don't have to have experience with that already. I didn't. That's how I got involved with the theater in the first place, the scene shop. I did not know how to build, and people taught me. And I'm not saying I'm a great builder, but I did help shape railings and stuff. So, it's fun, and that's the thing is, again, you're working toward the show. And if you're interested in volunteering, I'll put in my little ad. You can, again, go to our website, LTWS.org, go to the volunteer page, and there's an application, and you just fill that out. It'll come straight to me, and I will follow up with you. We'll get you started. So
I'm going to be brief here because I know that you all have a production meeting for a Christmas Carol that you have to get to in the next few minutes. But I want everybody to take away from the Little Theater is probably what you can tell from this podcast is just how passionate everyone is. When you come and see a production, you can see it just from the actors or from the volunteers. When you come and volunteer, you can see it from everybody else that you're working with. Everybody is just so passionate about what we do because of how much we love it, and because of just the energy that we get from one another and being around one another. It's just such a warm and inviting energy. And so I agree. I encourage everyone to come out and audition or take part, volunteer, see a show, any of it. But I just wanted to say thank you all for listening to the first ever episode of the Little Theater's podcast, Backstage Chronicles. Appreciate you having you with us. Be on the lookout. We have a bonus episode coming up that'll be talking about our fall classes and our fall youth production, The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales. That's going to be a real fun one. And our next episode, episode 2, will be featuring discussions about the first show of our 90th season, and Then They Were None by Agatha Christie. So stay tuned to that. Please subscribe to this podcast for more information. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. You can look us up on our website at www.ltofws.org. And stay tuned, and we can't wait to share more with you. The views and opinions of this podcast are those of the contributor and not necessarily those of our distributors and hosting company. This podcast is copyrighted. Use of this podcast without express permission may result in alien blood-sucking plants taking over the world. You have been warned.